Hey, my name's Jason Adams, and welcome back to Door Talk.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Door Talk. On today's episode, we have Chris Freeman again from Dorma for part 2 of door closures. So Chris, tell us a little bit about Dorma again and you guys' global role in the commercial hardware industry.
Well, Dorma is a true global company. Dorma is anchored in Ennepetal, West Germany. Kaba comes out of a Swiss company, and it's big in Europe, but it's also very big here in North America. So in North America, our headquarters is in Indianapolis.
Cool.
Where the best plant is, and that plant has been expanded dramatically here in the last couple of years because not only are they making locks and exit devices there now, but they're making different types of exit devices that we didn't do before, and a lot of the door closer products are coming out of there too now. So that's a big manufacturing plant for us. And beyond that, we have our center of excellence for automatic doors and glass door products. That's in Reamstown, Pennsylvania. And then beyond that, you have the Mesker production facilities down in Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay.
Down in Huntsville, Alabama. So
large footprint.
Yeah. So between all those different locations, that's how you get the doors, frames, closers, exits, locks. That's how you get everything all produced. Yep.
Well, so that's awesome.
It's a busy evolving company that's just getting bigger here in North America.
Wow, that's cool.
So,
well, on today's episode, we're going to continue talking about this will be part 2 of door closures. So, on last week's episode, we talked about the different types of door closures you might have: a surface closure, concealed closure, a floor closure. So
concealed in the door.
Yeah, concealed in the door closure. That's the one that surprised me. I had never heard of that before.
Yep.
So, Chris, why don't we talk about kind of the history of door closures today, where it came from, and how it's evolved over the years?
Well, probably the first door closer was a gate closer that was a rock on a chain, between the fence and the gate.
Right.
That's probably the first thing that closed the door. And then you had all kinds of pneumatic closers, like your storm door closer.
Right.
Okay, on your storm door at home, that's just a big spring and a pneumatic tube, and then you're adjusting the air escape coming out of that tube to get the checking action.
Right.
And that's fine for residential use,
right.
but in commercial buildings, then the need came up for more control, basically, and that's when springs and oil and hydraulic checking was introduced. So you have a lot of oil that gets displaced when you open up a door closer, and then for that oil to return to its original position as the door comes closed, it has to go through a valve, and you adjust the valve, and that's how the checking action comes to be. So, so there's been all kinds of variations. You remember the pot bellies back in the day, and you still see some of them around today.
They're classic.
Pot bellies, but pot bellies would have been from probably the 30s into into the 50s.
We'll throw up a picture of that so they know what we're talking about. But
pot bellies.
Those weird shape closers.
You've seen them, and they're in the corner of the door frames, and they hang down sometimes, and it's they call them head knockers.
Yeah, 4 foot into the opening. Yeah.
Yep, and you got to duck. You know what? Yeah, you know.
I know.
And those were very popular back in the day. But then, I don't know, in the 50s or so, then things evolved into, more or less today's modern streamlined type of a closer that took a more long and skinny appearance, and then could more easily be mounted on a door. It didn't take up so much of a footprint. So it's been a technology that's evolved over the years, but it's still doing basically the same thing. But there's different ways to do it today than just one way.
Right.
So anyway, so the basic type of a closer that's out there is it's called a rack and pinion closer.
Okay.
And we'll throw up a picture of what a rack and pinion is, so you know. But it's one of the more standard types of door closers, and it's still probably 98% of the closers out there today are rack and pinion type closers, and then that type of closer, it's a where the arm attaches. That's a pinion gear, and then there's a rack that's cut into a piston, and as the arm turns, it pushes the piston over, which compresses a spring, which displaces oil, and then when you leave the door go, the spring wants to return the piston to its original position, and then the oil has to go back where it's supposed to go,
back where it's supposed to go,
through the valving that you set, and that creates a checking action. So that's rack and pinion technology, and most closers today are of that technology. Okay. But then a more modern technology that came out of Europe back in the 90s. Is this kind of technology over here? This guy here is a cam and roller type product. So,
and this is your Dorma Cava. What's the model number on this?
This would be a TS. This would be a TS93 product here. So, there's a cam assembly in here instead of a pinion assembly, and there is a roller that rides over the cam. So a cam profile that wouldn't be so different from the cam profile in an automobile engine that operates the valves. That type of a profile is what is in here attached to that the other end of that pinion. So
these are standard rack and pinion, and here you got your best. This is the HD 8000 series.
Correct.
And this is another Dorma rack and pinion. What series is that?
So this is an 8900 series. So the 8900 series really came from the Dorma TS83 series back from 1983. I mean, that's where the original design and layout of this closer came from. So this closer, the 8900 series, came online here in North America. I don't know. It was in the 90s, in the late 90s, probably 97, 98, something like that. And that utilized the TS83 architecture inside of it.
Again, rack and pinion. So
these are rack and pinions.
Both of these considered, this one and the 89 series or 8900 series are considered heavy duty closures?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. This is a 10 million cycle closer that's been certified to 10 million cycles. So,
wow.
So ANSI grade 1 is 2 million. So this one's been cycled for 10 million, and that takes all but 5 years to do that.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a 15-second cycle.
Wow.
So do the math and see how long that takes for that to happen. It takes a long time.
So is there a person sitting there watching that? That's my question.
Not the whole time, but there is somebody coming in and checking it and checking progress.
Okay,
and all of that. So
you say that these two are HD heavy duty, for those heavy duty applications, but correct me if I'm wrong, but this kind of takes it to a whole new level.
It is. It's a different type of technology, and it is probably this is the cam and roller is probably the most efficient technology out there. So by efficiency, we're saying that if however much force it takes to open the door, you get the most closing force bringing the door closed with this type of technology. So, and that's especially critical when you're talking about when you're talking about ADA and you're trying to open doors with
1 pound,
well, or 5 pounds.
I know, 1 to 5 pounds. They're like,
you open doors with 5 pounds or less, and that sounds like a lot, but 5 pounds is nothing.
No, it's not.
So anyway, so when you're looking to get the most closing force out of a given amount of opening force, the TS93 really does give you the most return on your
bang for your buck,
investment.
I guess.
Yeah. So anyway, this came about in 92 in Europe,
that technology.
And this technology is quite popular in Europe today. I mean, probably the majority of closers sold in Europe are cam and roller type technologies, and in North America, there's a few closers that offer this type of technology, but it's not nearly as popular as it is in Europe. But Europe is, they're looking for a little bit more function. They want superior function, and it does give you the form they're looking for too. So so any type of these type products always have a track arm assembly where you don't have an arm sticking out from the door. So and that's what architects like.
It allows it to be aesthetically pleasing and function. So what is comparing the two models, the rack and pinion and the cam setup, what is going to give you the most smooth operation?
Well, it's a different feel. I would say that you're going to get the smoothest operation, the easiest feel out of a cam closer, because a cam closer, when you open the door, the first inch or two is the highest forces, and then that force dips down as the door opens up and goes beyond 90 to 180 degrees. It's a low spring compression once the door is initially opened. Then as the door comes closed, again, the spring doesn't expand very quickly until it gets down towards the latch assembly, and that's where the profile of the cam is ramped so that the spring can do the most work right at the latch. But that's where you need it. That's where you need it. You got to overcome that latch and get that door into the closed position. So that's why the cam and roller can be that much more efficient. You get more opening or more closing versus opening, but it gives it to you at the spot you need it at, right down at the latch. So,
do you foresee this being more prevalent technology in the future in North America?
Well, it's getting more popular. I mean, we use the same technology in our low energy operator for the mechanical spring side of things in like the ED series door operators. So it works well in that type of environment too. So we take it and take that technology and then incorporate it into our operators. So it works well for the mechanical side of things, but it also blends well into the electronic side of things.
That's great.
So
that's good. Well, that's it's incredible technology. You guys have incredible products. You want to tell us about anything new in the Dorma realm as far as new products coming out or products that you're excited about?
Well, of course, the door closer lineup is going to be evolving.
Right.
The Stanley commercial products are going to evolve into the best products here. So the best products, when that is introduced, the best door closers are going to be manufactured in the Dorma plants, and the existing Stanley type products are going to basically be sunsetting, and the best products are going to take over, and they're going to be manufactured in the Dorma factory. So that's coming.
That's exciting.
It's coming in the future, in the not too distant future. But I don't know if I want to commit to exactly how it's going to happen. But it's going to be. But it won't be. It won't be distant future. It'll be relatively near term. That's how the door closer side of things are going to evolve in the best in Dorma world. So
that's awesome.
Stay tuned.
We will.
It'll all be good, I'm sure.
Well, thank you guys for joining us again today for part 2. Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me, Matt. Yep.
And we hope to have you back soon. And maybe next time we can talk about some automatic operators, because I want to hear more about some of these low energy operators and these automatic operators that you guys offer, especially when it comes to touchless solutions. Because we did our very first episode of Door Talk that we ever did was on touchless solutions and touchless products in the midst of the pandemic that the world is facing.
Yep. More and more common.
You know, we hope to get back into that and dive into that Dorma and their line of not only door closures but automatic operators and automatic closures. So we'll go from there. Thank you. Y'all have a good day.